They're saying, oh my God, what did I sign up for?
He's so right. Appropriately named Nick Wright. All right, get to all that in a second. We got to start out in L.A. Lakers Suns Game 3 in front of 7,000 fans. And those 7,000 fans got to see another Oscar-worthy performance from Mr. Brow. Anthony Davis, 34 points, 11 rebounds. And yet, this was still a close game until the Lakers pulled away in the second half for the win. We talked about Chris Paul, CP3 all week. If he was going to go, he ended up playing 27 minutes, only 2.5 minutes, though, in the fourth quarter when the Suns really needed him. So let's take a look at this game. Nick, I'll start with you. Is this series now over after what you saw last night?
Of course, Jenna. And it is not because Chris Paul got hurt. It is because the Lakers
Don't give any
are the Lakers. It's because, well, no, it's not. Because it is not because Chris Paul, a player who has gotten hurt in 5 of his last 7 postseasons, unfortunately, predictably, got hurt again. It's because the Suns have no answer for Anthony Davis, and they have no answer for LeBron James, who is quite literally just trying out new things on the basketball court to keep himself entertained. Like, so the Lakers have one thing that no other team in the league has had all year, which is game in, game out, no matter what lineup is out there, no matter who's healthy or who's not, stifling, choking defense. And so when you add to that, LeBron as the, hand on the joystick, as Brian Windhorst would say, and Anthony Davis playing like Anthony Davis, you've got no shot. They are dominating this team despite the fact they still cannot hit a single open shot. They are worst of any team in the playoffs on wide open threes, and they're getting more of them than nearly any team in the playoffs. So they're doing this without their shots falling because they have the greatest player ever, because Anthony Davis is back to being Anthony Davis, and because their calling card of playoff level A+ defense has been there from game 1, and it was there at game 75 last night. So yes, Brandon, this series is over, and it is not because an all-time great who gets hurt a lot got hurt again.
You're just going to chop my legs from under me? That's what you're going to do? You want to start off this morning
I don't know.
just taking my legs out? You knew exactly where I was about to go. Unfortunately, Jenna, Nick is right, but he's not all the way right. Look, this series was over with 9 minutes left in the second quarter in game 1 when CP3's shoulder was ripped out of his socket. So, of course, it was over. We talked about this yesterday. They had no chance. We're talking about 23 minutes and 6 points, 27 minutes and 7 points last night. I mean, this guy, had no chance of leading his team to victory. He's just out there just trying everything he can to get his guys in spots and get his guys the right look. But unfortunately, they couldn't get it done. But we knew that. Now, when you talk about defense, Nick, you got to go to the other side. That's what I'm disappointed in the Suns for, is their defense. There was too many open buckets in the paint. There was too many easy layups. There was too many just breakdowns in their defense. Guys just wide open. So that's things that they can control. Now, the Lakers look good in spurts. The Lakers look like the championship team. Looking at LeBron James, what he was doing, you said he was trying out stuff. Look at the sideline, the bench, guys into it finally. They finally look like a championship team. Now, here's the question, Wilds. The question is, can AD be consistent? This was his first time going back-to-back with 30-plus point nights, right? So that is the question. AD, can he sustain this? And not just about this series, but we're talking about throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he can. And I think this series is pretty much done. And we've reached the Bernie Mac's phase of this series, which is like, you don't understand. I'm not scared of you, Phoenix Suns, anymore at all. Because for 2.5 games, LeBron played pretty passive. If we can show his first half shot chart, he's just like kind of, again, floating on the outside. And halftime, Chuck is like, I don't know, what's the deal with this guy? He's not necessarily injured, but he's certainly playing hurt. And then all of a sudden, Nick, LeBron became old LeBron again. and started pounding the paint, getting dunks inside. And I know I like joked around with you that he was getting like open dunks last game, but these were like in traffic dunks. And then it just became a comedy club when he's trying out moves on Jay Crowder, and the next move when he's putting it through his legs, they just have zero fear of the Phoenix Suns. You're seeing a team that is playing with so much confidence and starting to look Globetrotter-esque, Nick.
Well, and you see the guys on the sideline. So I want to respond to the LeBron point, and then I want to circle back to Brandon's point. I heard Chuck on the at halftime too, and at some point, I wish folks would have the ability to remember other LeBron James seasons and the beginnings of the playoff runs and what he does. The guy who has scored more points than anyone in playoff history and, more importantly, played more minutes and more games than anyone in playoff history, and very soon will have the most finals appearances of anyone not named or not on the Bill Russell Celtics in finals history. Guess what LeBron knows? He knows what his team needs not to win game 1 or game 2 of the first round, but to win the championship. And you know what LeBron was doing through the first 10 quarters of this series? Trying to get his shooters in rhythm. The same thing he did last year in the first round. Trying to get his shooters in rhythm. Knowing, if need be, in the biggest spots, I still am the most unstoppable force in the league. He didn't just all of a sudden get healthy at halftime. At halftime, he's like, hey, we need to win this game. We've got 2 days of rest before the next one. Take control of the series, so I'll win it for us. And then I will go back to trying to get KCP and Kuzma and Wes Matthews in rhythm. You saw him after game 2 yelling at KCP. Shoot the damn ball. You saw him last night say Wes Matthews was huge. He knows to win the title, those guys have to make shots. So I just totally disagree with the idea that he was, oh, all of a sudden he got healthy. No, and I'm not saying that's what you were saying, Wilds. He was doing what his team needed. But I have a question for Brandon. Brandon, honestly, and nobody's been higher on Chris Paul this year than me. Does having Chris Paul out there prevent Anthony Davis from doing what he did the last 2 games? Because he's not guarding. He's not guarding Anthony Davis.
No, but we're talking about CP3. You not only need CP3 to get everybody in their spots. LeBron said it after the game in this interview. They asked him about CP3, and he tried to be diplomatic and say, well, we're going to approach him like he was 100%. So that's a CP3 question. But he is one of the smartest guys, breaking down defenses, getting his guys involved. And then you also had James on the broadcast talk about you not only need CP3 to do that, but you also need CP3 to score. So that is the difference, not AD. When you look at your what you just talked about, their shooting, Jenna, they were 7 of 28 from 3. That is 28%. Yeah. So when are these guys going to get in the rhythm? Now, if they were knocking down their shots, it's probably a different game. But I just believe if CP3 was healthy, they would be up in this series and it wouldn't even be close.